Yes. Hello, everybody, to all our ESC Plus viewers. This is Denis from ESC Plus International, and I'm here with Theodor Andrei, who won the national final for Romania and is going to fly the Romanian flag in Liverpool. Well, Theodor, first question, how are you?
I'm actually fine, thank you. It's amazing to have an interview with you. I've watched your videos a couple of years ago, um, talking with other participants and contestants, and it's kind of a dream come true having the opportunity to make this right now. I'm in the studio. We are cooking up something, maybe for Eurovision, maybe not. I'm not really a fan of spoiling up
Mhm.
surprises, but we're trying to make something special, like a surprise before Eurovision.
Okay. So, um, well, you don't want to have any spoilers, which I understand. Let's keep like a lot of things a surprise. But are you going to maybe change your performance or your song a little?
Um, so the performance will have the same concept, like not concept, not concept is the right word. Um, the message that I want to send to the people will be the same one. The make love not war theme, which I chose for four different reasons. First of all, because um, it matches the lyrics of the song really well, because the song itself talks about a toxic love, or war in love, something like a continuous battle in between emotional feelings and logical decisions, something like necessary evil, which you
Mhm.
come back to no matter what happens, even though you know it hurts you and it damages you long term. So that's the first reason I chose "Make Love Not War" as a quote to give back to the people. The second reason is the actual situation we have in the world right now, and I think this whole "Make Love Not War" thing, it's something people really need to hear and think about a lot,
Mhm.
especially these times. Third of all, um, because there is a perpetuous war in between us people, which kind of takes me back to not so bright period of my life in which I
Mhm.
um in the school period, like when I was 12, 13, 14, something like that. I was a victim of the bullying phenomenon
Mhm. Yeah.
in school, and that thing um caused some traumas
Mhm.
to me, and it was pretty hard, especially in that period in which I was uh, just starting to know myself better and starting to get to the point I am now.
Mhm.
It hurt me a lot, and it made me think about some things to which I didn't want to pay attention
Mhm.
so much time until now. But I think this is the perfect opportunity to make a statement that people can understand and make people stop being so mad and uh, hurtful to each other. Because if we would all realize that we are just pieces of dirt, if it makes sense,
Mhm.
like Adam, the piece of dirt
Mhm.
from the Bible, we'll realize that the only thing that makes us different and the only thing that separates us are basically our decisions and the way we grown up.
Mhm.
But in we have the same hearts, we have the same blood
Mhm.
somehow.
I think that is a very beautiful message, Theodore, especially because most people might not know this, but you're 18 at the moment. You're turning 19 next month, if I read correctly.
No.
No? Oh my God.
No, i'm
You
i'm turning i'm turning 19 in October.
in October. Oh my God. I have to check my sources. But yes, you're still 18 at the moment. I got that right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good that you actually also reach out not only to youngsters but to everybody to tell a personal story and to like make people focus on certain problems that there are in the world and just like turning their perspective through your performance. So I
Yeah.
think that's a really good thing. And I also think that is a good thing to bring to the Eurovision stage. It's one of the biggest music stages of the world. So yeah, it's good to show that there, especially to youngsters who are going through this maybe at the moment. Um, yeah, like talking about the message that you have. Well, you won the national final of Romania. What did that mean to you? Because you were in a couple of TV shows before. I read X Factor. I saw The Voice Kids. Um, what did it mean to you to be on the national final stage?
Well, this whole Eurovision thing has been one of my biggest dreams for all of my life for now. So when I was like 5 or 6 years old, I used to watch the Eurovision finals with my parents, and I used to tell them that one day I will be the one on that stage. And it felt like a dream back then. It felt like, okay, I'm saying it, but I don't really mean it. I mean, I'm concerned that it's not possible for this
Mhm.
to ever happen. But then I started going to this through this whole festivals and competitions, singing competitions thing, starting when I was 10. So in between 10 and 18 years old, where I'm now, except for the pandemic year, there's never been 2 weeks uh, in which I haven't been on a stage.
Mhm.
So basically, I lived 8 years on stage somehow.
Mhm.
It sounds a little bit storytelling, something like
Mhm.
like a dream, something sci-fi, but
Mhm.
it's actually true, and I've experienced many types of audiences and different cities across the country and outside the country. I've been to Bulgaria 2 or 3 times, and some other countries too, and it was a beautiful road. And in the moment when I realized that my first ever dream was to be a songwriter and sing my own songs and deliver my own message, something I do really feel and believe in, and something that my heart um beats in the same BPM too.
Mhm.
Um, that moment, I started writing music, and uh, to my fourth or fifth song, I wrote my first Eurovision song, which I wanted to sign up for the national selection in 2020.
Mhm.
But it was the first year with Roxanne with the internal
Yeah.
selection, so it didn't pass
Mhm.
to the public audience. But I still know it's my first Eurovision song somehow.
Mhm.
The second year in 2021, I received a song from two Greek composers. They texted me on Facebook saying they saw my videos and they want to collaborate. And I was like, two Greek composers tell me they wrote a song for me. It's amazing. I'm gonna do this.
Mhm.
So I texted them back. We made the song. We signed up the song. It didn't pass the pre-selection. And this year, not this year, in 2022, I released my debut album
Mhm.
called Fragile, which means
Mhm.
fragile.
Mhm.
And it's something extremely special for me because it's something I've dreamt of doing for like 4 years now, and seeing it finally done and published, and seeing people knowing my lyrics from the start to
Mhm.
finish, and dancing to them or crying to them or simply uh, feeling the message that I've written there, and the pieces of my soul aligned in musical notes. It's something it's something divine. It's
Mhm.
something like it's an astonishing feeling. And so I released that album, and I had this track DGT, which is actually DGT, but I'm gonna come back to this later. Um, so I had this track which was fully in Romanian, and I thought, what if I would just turn half of the song in English and maybe change up the musical lines so it'll become harder, and maybe something like um um something like a fusion in between rock and roll, blues, R&B, pop, and hip hop. So we have all of these elements that which seem to be from different universes, but when then collide, it makes this whole universe around it, and the atmosphere that surrounds it. It's very intriguing
Mm-hmm.
because there are elements that you might think they not work together, but they
Okay.
do. So we have the rock and roll vocals, we have hip hop verses, and this whole sexy vibe that the song gives you. So it's something I really do believe in, and I just registered the song to the national selection, thinking, I'll miss it this year too,
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna do it because I like it. So I sent the song, then it qualified for the next national selection, and I was like, oh, okay, so we gotta do something about this. And so I called Jana Cola, my choreographer, and we built together a team of dancers, um, um, which brings together Diana Cola, the choreographer, Teo
Mm-hmm.
Cola, her brother, Alexandru Sasha Rebeja, and Alexandra Coman. And so we made this whole moment together. It was basically a fusion in between my ideas regarding the theatrical parts and the messages that I wanted to give, and the whole choreography that she made. And I think we built something really outstanding
Mm-hmm.
because the messages that we wanted to send were there. So we have
Mm-hmm.
two outfit reviews. One in one moment the girls undress me, in the other one the boys undress me. So it's kind of
Okay.
an inclusive message too.
Mm-hmm.
We have a sign language moment in which we say this thing,
Mm-hmm.
which means let me remember, freedom. This is
Mm-hmm.
freedom. No, this is freedom. This is equity.
Mm-hmm.
This is peace, and this is love.
Okay.
But I didn't want to put this so upfront because I didn't want to be like something that people might say, "Ah, he only put that in
Mm-hmm.
because it'll bring attention." I wanted it to be for the people that really need to understand the song in some other way, because
Mm-hmm.
I think music speaks for itself to every one of us in this world. So if you can listen to the lyrics, you can understand the vibrations of the song, the theme, and something like that, you should be able to receive a message regarding what the song really means itself.
Mm-hmm.
And in the ending, we have that "Make Love Not War" message, which I wrote on my chest, which I told you about earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, the name of the song is DGT. What do the letters stand for? Because
So
I was wondering, maybe it's
yeah,
something in Romanian. I don't know.
well, this is actually a funny story. So I was writing this song. Um, I was writing this song alone in my bedroom, and then I called my friend Luca De Mezzo, asking him about whether he has or not some ideas for the bridge or the pre-chorus. We were building the pre-chorus back then, so we wrote together the pre-chorus. I started writing the first verse, and then um, I had come up with Michael Jahed and Luca Udățeanu and Strud, my colleague from Enigmatic Studio, where we recorded some other things after this. Still regarding Eurovision, we recorded a medley in which I sang my version of every single song from the national selection this year. So it's something really cool, something that
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been done before, and built uh, I think it built a connection in between us, the contestants, because uh, there wasn't any type of atmosphere like, oh, this is a competition, we don't have to be friends, we
Mm-hmm.
have to be like rivals. This is like a battle.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think one of the reasons there we were something like actually friends, and we were talking to each other and maybe giving us advices in between rehearsals. One of the reasons that may have happened was actually this medley I made. So I made it before we ever met each other, the contestants, and some of them wrote in the comments of my video, "Oh, that was cool. I'll make the challenge too," something like this. So it was cool. And then we made a acoustic version of DGT, which you may have heard is on my YouTube channel.
I think I saw it somewhere. Yeah,
that's cool. So we were writing this thing, and I had come up with the idea of using the Romanian metaphor "mă joacă pe degete," which is the first line in the chorus, which translated is something like "I'm wrapped around her fingers."
Okay.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. That's
Yeah. So it's something like she fools me or she plays me off and on. Plays me off and on. Yeah, that's the thing. So I was thinking that in Romanian, if we get the fingers like DGT, that's the translation of fingers, DGT, nobody has ever used DGT, even though it's DGT. So if we have like the national television here, it's called TVR. But if you write it as an abbreviation, it's TVR. So you have TVR, TVR, DGT, DGT. So it's something that it doesn't mean anything, and no one has ever used it before. But I was thinking that what are the chances of someone playing a song called Fingers?
Oh yeah,
Let's spice it up a bit. Make it like DGT, so the listener will be DGT, and he will play the song, wondering what DGT means. So it's like a puzzle, and if you put all the pieces up together, it builds a whole picture.
Great. Really creative. It's like a little wordplay, really. The other thing, like that you talked about, I really liked. You know, you did all these things. You said you worked up to this moment of, becoming bigger, releasing your own album, going to the Eurovision Song Contest, which will be watched by many people. I like that you're still like down to earth, like that you're not became arrogant of it, that you're just like enjoying the journey, although you're just like 18 years, like some people have to wait for a far longer time, but you're remain like down to earth, and I really like that you remain yourself, I think. And it's important thing.
I think art is more important than pride.
Okay, that's a good.
So one. that's a thing. I believe in evergreen music. I believe in potential. I don't believe in ego. Okay. So yeah, I'm 18 years old, and I'm the youngest ever performer that Romania has ever sent to Eurovision, to the great Eurovision. So because junior Eurovision is a whole other thing. And I think act in this world of method acting, because this is actually method acting, just as Heath Ledger used, just as Joaquin Phoenix used, and some other great names, huge names in this industry. Being one with the truth is the ideal, and I think that delivers the real experience to the audience. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with Eurovision too, because I have these messages which I told you about, the make love not worth thing, the understanding message, the more inclusive message, the peaceful message, the love, and this whole thing is matched up with the ideals of this whole musical genre I'm representing this year, because this song I'm coming with, it's a song that has never been into Eurovision, the type of song that has never seen Eurovision, and overall the type of song that Romania has never sent to Eurovision. So this is my piece of potential. This is the moment in which I can show the whole world another side of what rock and roll actually means, and this whole culture with its rebellion and the whole spirit it drives you to. I want to make the most freewheeling message.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make the best impression that Romania has ever made to Eurovision. I want to give back to every single person that took their time to vote for me in the national final. I want to give them back uh, exactly that trust, that whole belief that everything
Mm-hmm.
is going to be okay if we choose to think outside the box and send something that might seem risky,
Mm-hmm.
but how can you win when you don't risk?
It's true. It's true. And I think the thing that I also like I wrote down a lot of questions, but you answered most of them like in your own story. So that is really good. And yeah, I like your morale, the way you're presenting yourself, the message that you want to convey to the world. It's very good. Um, what would it mean for you to win Eurovision?
Um, well, I think that's the first point um, which made me decide to participate in this competition. Because so I had some rough times in this uh, singing competitions industry, in this whole studio music releases industry, and I think I found my piece in this, my role, my place in this whole music industry, doing something that um, might seem niche,
Mm-hmm.
but combining the elements that made music great in the greatest years of music, and like the 60s, the 70s, with the whole soul, blues, R&B, rock and roll era, with the modern sound. It makes a whole other level of understanding music. It makes a whole other genre. And I really do believe in my chances of bringing back home a good position in the grand final. Um, I'm very confident, as you can see, but um, this would be the conclusion to my biggest dream.
Mm-hmm.
Because ever since I first watched Eurovision, I wanted and I wondered how would it be if I was the first Romanian to win the Eurovision.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my purpose now. Um, I'm mm, I there's not a single day passes without rehearsals.
Mm-hmm.
So we rehearse like 7, 8 hours a day for the whole staging, for the whole song, for each part of the song, because everything has got to be perfect. It's my first time on Eurovision, and not so many people get to have the second.
Mm-hmm.
So it's exactly as the legendary "Lose Yourself" song says: if you had one shot or one
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one
Yeah.
moment,
Mm-hmm.
would you capture it
Yeah, yeah.
or just let it slip?
Yeah.
His palms are sweaty, knees weak. Well, that's another
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I so I'm making this whole thing, um, but I'm not alone. I'm with my whole team. I'm with the national television team, which supports us a lot, and it's amazing seeing them respond to my ideas and not being cold and
Mm-hmm.
restrain me from anything, because as I said, coming from this whole theatrical world, I have some different ideas. Maybe some of them might seem crazy, maybe some of them can't literally be done in such a huge context or such a huge stage as the Eurovision one, but when these two worlds collide, we make something that has never been seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole thing I want to be doing. I don't want to be just another contestant. I don't want to be just another name in the list of
Mm-hmm.
participating countries. I want to make something that will stand out. I want to make something that will be like referenced in the next years. So
Mm-hmm.
you see, oh, here's Eurovision 2024, but do you remember the moment that Romania brought to Eurovision in 2023, that was amazing. So that's the type of reaction I want. I want people appreciating this whole art, this whole form of art, and the way we want to express it in the national final, in the huge final, in the international final, and I want to deliver this message to every single person watching it. So I've seen reactions from the people. I've seen feedbacks regarding the national final performance we've had, and so I've watched tons of them. I've seen the good parts of it. I've seen the worst parts of it. I've seen that some things I wanted to express there weren't exactly understood as I wanted to. Some people really thought it was just something erotic, and the whole undressing thing had no point. When my actual idea was, there's this old saying in which you only find the real truth when you get rid of every clothing, every religion, every ideology.
You got stripped down of everything.
Yes, exactly. So that's the real truth, and that's what I wanted to express. Some people got the idea, some people don't, but we are looking forward to getting the majority votes. So we have to make a huge message, a good message, a extremely positive message, and something that will really encourage people to be more loving. Because many people say, "Oh, love songs are so boring. Everyone makes love songs. Can't you be more original?" But the love is actually the most complex subject of all time, and you can never get rid of ideas about this. It's like a river. You don't know it's flowing. And I think this side of the story, with the girl playing him and him coming back, and the whole voodoo doll thing we used in the national final, that's a thing that has never been used in Eurovision. And we want to make history, not acting.
Okay, good. Very looking forward to see whatever is going to happen on stage. Already preparing myself for something that has never been seen before, which is really cool. One last thing, Theodor, do you have like a message to our ESCplus International followers?
Yes. So, first of all, it's an honor to me, for me to have made this interview with you, and I hope people listen to it the whole way through, because we've talked some interesting facts and things, and I really do believe in people. I think people understand music in the exact same measure that music understands them, and that's a thing that Mozart has said. I'm working on making the Mozart role in the Amadeus play.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a thing that Mozart said, and I think it suits this situation really well. So Mozart said this way: a playwright has to align 1,000 different propositions to create to replicate this atmosphere, this situation that we have right now. So 100, 1,000, 1 million words, one next to each other. When a musician, when a composer can deliver this whole thing using 10,000 instruments, 10,000 voices at the same time, and you would still recognize every one another, you would still identify each one of them and listen to any one of them, particularly if you pay attention. And that's the way that God hears the world. So it's my thoughts together with yours, and it's her thoughts with his, and the story goes on, and he takes time and he's able to hear them particularly if he wants to. And that's the whole magic of music. And so I really do believe that this year is the perfect year for switching up things, for spicing things up, for getting out of this Eurovision song idea, which is a whole this belief that there was ever a Eurovision recipe is so old-fashioned and superficial. Just seeing how every single year the winner is the complete opposite of the past year's winner, and the songs never seem to build up a recipe at the end of the competition. There is never a recipe, and the recipe will never work, because Eurovision is not about recipes. Eurovision is about standing out in some way, whether that way is having having huge chains, just as Norway had in 2021 with Tix and Fallen Angel, whether it's the green screen cool thing with the people dressed in chroma green dancing, just as Greece had with Stefania in 2021 with Last Dance, whether it's Make Love Not War, a quote of John Lennon from Beatles in Liverpool. I think it's the perfect year for choosing freedom, for choosing love, for choosing rebellion, for choosing youth, for choosing rock and roll. So that's why I hope people understand my message, my way in this whole Eurovision competition, and I hope they will vote with their hearts. This whole DGT thing is just a snippet of the whole show we're gonna make in the final.
Okay, well, Theodor, we are very excited to see what is going to happen. I would like to thank you for this interview. It was really nice. You told a lot, and it really makes everything clear now. We know about like the abbreviation, what it stands for. We know about your station plans a little, but there are still surprises, as we spoke about like at the beginning of this interview. So really excited. Thank you for this interview, and best of luck in Liverpool.
Thank you too. It was a pleasure.